Hi, this is Dawn Para from Queen's University of Charlotte, and I'm doing a video presentation for my communications theory course. And the topic is advertising creativity and repetition, recall, wear out, and wear in effects. And this was an article, a study that appeared in the International Journal of Advertising in 2013, and it was written by Kevin Lenhart, Brian Till, and Brad Carlson. Main advertising goal: to break through clutter and leave a lasting impression in the consumer's mind. The means of achieving this goal through creativity, which is seen as an important component of advertising. How does creativity influence recall across repeated ad exposures? Highly creative ads are easier to recall than control ads. The boundary conditions around this effect are less understood. Research shared in this paper examines how creativity influences recall across repeat ad exposures. Introduction. This paper investigates the influence of creativity on advertising wear-in, which is how the ad significantly impacts the consumer's attitude, and wear out, where exposure to the ad has no significant impact. Creativity has been investigated as it relates to recall, attitude, and strategic use of creative ads to elicit emotional responses and product evaluations and purchase intentions. Relevant for marketing managers is that creativity is an important antecedent of advertising effectiveness. Why is this important, you might ask? Much remains undiscovered regarding the mechanisms through which creativity influences consumer responses. This is particularly relevant in regard to assessing the benefits and potential drawbacks of creativity following repeat ad exposures. To potentially enhance the effectiveness of ad campaigns when equipped with a deeper knowledge of how repeat exposure to creativity influences consumer responses to advertising. With creativity in advertising, the ultimate goal is to reach consumers with a message that stands out from the barrage of ads. Establishing what the influence of creativity and repetition on each of the above variables is of particular interest, given their potential for enhancing both. Methodology. The purpose of this study is to examine the role of creativity and repetition on consumer recall and ad wear out. A 3 ad exposure by 2 creative control mixed factorial design was utilized. Creative ads relevant to the study were included either once, twice, or 4 times within a 30-minute television program. Dependent variables were ad recall, aided and unaided, and brand recall, aided and unaided, and attitude towards the ads. Following a 1-week delay, aided and unaided recall measures were collected for a second time. Advertising done right. I've created a collage of award-winning ads just to represent some of the ads that have made an impact within their markets that they ran. Sample. A total of 90 subjects were recruited from business courses at a large Midwestern university. Those subjects who identified English as a second language or were not U.S. citizens were removed, as cultural and language differences may interfere with processing and understanding of the 218 ads. A 1-week follow-up recall survey was administered, with 74 completed responses in this delayed recall condition. Procedure, Part 1. Subjects were randomly placed into one of 3 conditions, based on the number of times each group would be exposed to the creative advertisement. Creating conditions that range from 1 to 4 exposures provides an opportunity to assess the array of possible wear-in effects and attitude change. Creative ads were randomly selected for inclusion from communication arts award-winning advertisements. The control ads were obtained via a random sampling of advertisements from broadcast television. It was ensured that these ads were not themselves award-winning. All ads were randomly placed and removed as necessary to hold constant the total amount of advertising across all conditions. Procedure Part 2. Following this, subjects completed a survey consisting of a memory-clearing task comprising 3 simple arithmetic questions. Unaided and aided recall were measured, as well as attitude towards ads to test ad wear out. To assess unaided recall, subjects were instructed to write down any brand names or other identifiable information recalled from the ads. For aided recall, prompts were provided. 1 week later, identical follow-up surveys were distributed in order to measure unaided and aided delayed recall. After the delayed recall exercise, subjects then viewed the ads once more in order to complete a recognition task. Results: creativity, repetition, and recall. Advertising creativity and repetition add creativity types. Creative and controlled allow for comparison of multiple dependent variables. Creative ads were consistently recalled more than control ads. These results imply that more creative ads were recalled at a higher rate than were less creative control ads. Findings were that creative advertisements exhibit higher recall through repeat exposures, though repeat exposures reduce this advantage. This is a table that I have included to show the relationship between creativity and the number of exposures for the unaided brand recall. As you can see, the award-winning ads have a higher amount of recall than did the control ads. Also, it should be noted that the number of exposures, once they exceeded 2 exposures, dropped the impression of the recall. It dropped it more for the control ads than did the award-winning ads with the creativity. This is a research table that I showed that I am sharing to share the amount of information that was compiled in this study in a more concise content. Basically the same content that was included in the presentation but the variables from the investigation, major findings, and the methodology in a more concise manner. Discussion. The purpose of the study was to investigate the role of creativity and repeated exposures on advertising recall, wear in and wear out. Recall was significantly higher for creative ads than control, and creativity had a pronounced effect upon consumer recall. Relating to wear in, attitudes towards the ads were significantly higher for creative versus control advertisements in the single exposure level, suggesting that creative ads wear in more quickly than do less creative executions. Regarding wear-out effects, creative advertisements experience a diminished evaluation upon repeated exposure. Conclusion. Creativity served to increase overall recall across all measures, both in an immediate setting and following a one-week follow-up. Results indicate that creative ads are able to increase recall with less repetition than control ads. The unique and novel components of advertisements enable recall by surprising the viewer and enhancing awareness. As a result, creative ads were able to hold the attention of the consumer and enhance their evaluations. How is this significant to the marketer? As coming from someone who is in marketing myself and who does design advertising campaigns, this is a very good significant factor to state the importance of creativity within the ad campaign production. This specifies that the recall and the brand recognition is higher among those ads with a high level of creativity versus those who have a low level. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the presentation.